So for those of you who have not used the library's online resources before, the PIN number is the last 4 digits of the telephone number on your library account. If you are a student success card holder, the library used the last 4 digits of the phone number your school had on file for you. So whatever number your school calls when you are absent, try the last 4 digits of that number. And just a quick reminder, if you are a student in the Los Angeles Unified School District, you probably have a student success card. They're the best card ever. They're not just free, they are fine-free. And the Los Angeles Public Library issued student success cards to every single student in LAUSD schools. So if you don't have your student success card or you don't know your PIN, we're going to put a couple of links in the chat. You can contact the library's amazing Info Now staff if you need your PIN number, and if you need your student success card number, there is a special link just for students to use to get that information. So both of those should be popping up in the chat now. So I'm putting my library card number, I'm putting in my PIN, I'm clicking submit, and it's going to connect me to tutor.com. Okay, so the absolute best thing about tutor.com is connect with the tutor, but there are so many other things too. So I want to take a moment to show you the other options before we get into talking with a tutor. We're going to do a complete demonstration of that. So you can take a quiz. So for instance, these are various topics that you can take a quiz if you're planning to take the ASVAB, that's the Military Service Aptitude Test. You can practice for that. You can do general subjects. And then within each topic, there are different quizzes that you can take. As you can see, this is my account. I took a general science quiz. I got a 72%. I am not proud of that score. I could retake that quiz. I could also review that quiz and look at the answers that I missed. Like this will allow me to review my answers, so I can check through there and see what's going on with that. So tutor.com saves all of your activity on the site, so if you ever want to review it, it's always there for you. If you ever forget a particular thing that your tutor explained to you during a session, you can actually view a recording of the whole session. However, we know that you don't always have time to sit down and connect with a tutor one-on-one. So you can also drop off a math question. So they're going to ask you some information about what you're working on, where you are, for research purposes, and then they're going to ask you with what kind of math question you want to drop off, what grade you're working in, and then you want to put your question in, and they will get it back to you in, I believe, 12 hours. Let's see. So yeah, so there's drop off a math question, so they get it back to you. That's one option. There's also submit a paper for review. This is not just, by the way, a paper. This also works for resumes. So this is a really good service. This is a service that I recommend to all of our teens who are looking for that first summer job. You should never turn in a resume if you haven't had somebody else look at it first. If you don't know anybody who can read your resume for you, drop it off with tutor.com and get their tutors to have a look at your resume, check your grammar, your spelling, your punctuation, your terminology, and they can offer you guidelines on how to improve your resume so that hopefully you can go out and get that first job. So you can also drop off papers. It's a 12-hour review. So again, they get that back to you pretty quickly, and they want to know a little bit about what you're working on, where you are in your writing process, whether you're on a first draft or this is your final draft, and any instructions that you received from your teacher so that they can know what to read for when they're reading through your paper, and like your citation format. So these are all things that they're going to give you comments and feedback on when they return your paper. So those are some options. There's also this other tools option. This is the prep for various standardized tests. Remember, Princeton Review that owns tutor.com is also the company that makes the AP exams, SAT, the ACT, grad school tests, and then videos for math and English are over here in the other tools. But let's get to the best thing, the most awesome thing, the reason we are all here, which is to connect with the tutor. So I am going to connect with the tutor and we're going to watch this live. We're going to talk with the tutor. So I'm going to choose math. I'm going to select a grade. We'll say 9th grade. I'm going to select a subject. We'll say algebra. I'm going to put in the zip code of the Central Library. I'm in Los Angeles Public Library. And I can choose a tutor with voice chat capabilities so that I can talk to them the way I'm talking to you. However, you will not be able to hear that conversation, so I'm not going to time. So I'm going to put my math question in here, which is x plus 5 equals 9. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect. You can also, by the way, attach a file. If you have an assignment that's in a file, you can attach it here, upload it, you can have a look at it. So I'm going to connect now. You all should be seeing a little window pop up on my screen. They're getting me a tutor. So usually this takes very little time. We don't have to wait very long. While we are waiting, however, I will tell you a couple of other things about tutor.com. What is popping up on the screen? There we go. Okay, so here's our tutor. Okay, I'll tell you the other things about tutor.com a little bit later. So I'm going to say, hi, I'm a librarian. So I can actually write in this field here. And the tutor can also write in this field, so I can see the work that the tutor is doing to solve the problem. The tutor is also going to explain the concept to me as they go through the problem. Let's see. So I'm going to pretend like I'm kind of sure about how this works, but I'm not quite. So I'm going to ask a question. I think you move the 5 over to the other side of the equal sign. Let's see what our tutor says. And then if I have questions, I can actually ask my questions in the chat. I'm not really sure why the 5 moves over, so I'm going to ask the tutor, and the tutor can answer my question. So this tutoring, it works with literature, it works with science. If there's any concept that you're unclear of, then you can come in here and ask the question. And I'm a librarian, books are my business, I love books, but there is no substitute for being able to ask an expert a question, because then you can ask follow-up questions and you can get the answers to just the thing you're looking for right away. So the tutor is explaining to me that we need to isolate X, and that's why we need to move the 5 to the other side of the equals. Yes. Thank you. Yes, it makes sense. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to log off now. So I'm going to go ahead and end the session. So I'm going to choose OK, and they're going to ask me some information about my experience. It was excellent. It's always been excellent. Every interaction I've had with the tutors on tutor.com has been great. I would absolutely recommend the service to a friend. I have friends whose kids are home right now, and I have recommended this to them until I'm blue in the face, and they are super excited about it. So let us know what you think about the service, though, because this is how we make improvements. Okay, so if I wanted a transcript of my session, I can email it. I can also print a copy of the session, and I can replay a video of the session. So if I wanted to see everything that happened, this will replay the session that we just had as though it were a movie. So it's going through all of the steps, as you can see. However, once I close that out, I can always view all of my other sessions in my account, which is up here in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, I'm going to choose My Sessions. There we are. These are my sessions. So here's my most recent session with BalGG. But as you can see, I've had sessions with Carol, with Amanda, with Glenn, and I can choose a favorite, so I can add BalG to my favorites. However, I want to point out some differences between the last. One of those is that the library's access is 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Another of those is that meeting or tutoring time with your favorite tutors. That is not an option that is available on our subscription. And the third thing that is not available on the library subscription of Tutor.com is that you cannot access Tutor.com through the Tutor.com app. So you may see that app in your app store, but it is not compatible with the library subscription. Other than that, though, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., any question you got in English or Spanish, please feel free to log into Tutor.com. So that is Tutor.com. And we'll get to questions, any questions you have about Tutor.com at the end of the session. Oh, one last thing. You can also replay your sessions here. So as you can see, we've got the replay session option. We've got the view transcript. So here is the transcript of the session we just had. It's going to take a second to load. It's loading. Okay, well, usually it takes a second to load. Let me see if I can view a transcript for a previous one. So if you're experiencing some technical difficulties, you can also email the transcript to yourself, and you can submit this question again to go over it with another tutor. So those are options that you can do. You can also view your previous sessions by particular subjects that you have selected when you have requested a session with a tutor. So that is Tutor.com. I think it is one of the absolute best resources that we offer online. It is a resource other people have to pay for, that the library pays for, so that you can access it for free. If you're not using Tutor.com, it's like you're losing money. So if you have any questions, if you're having trouble with your schoolwork, please log in and take advantage of this amazing resource. Now, I want to go on to the next free resource really quick. I'm going to go back to our library website. And I want to show you just real quick before we turn things over to Lear, who has some amazing, fun, awesome entertainment resources available through lapl.org. I want to go to lynda.com. So we are going to go to online learning from lapl.org. And we're going to scroll down to lynda.com. That's spelled L-Y-N-D-A. So lynda.com has over 150,000 video tutorials. I remember when I first started teaching online resources, that number was 30,000 videos. So they're adding new videos every single day. So I'm going to click on lynda.com. So for those of you who don't know what lynda.com is another subscription service like Tutor.com. Universities pay for their students to have access to it so they can better their skill sets. Employers pay for their employees to have access to it for the same reason. Individuals pay up to, I think, somewhere around $30 a month to have access to lynda.com so that they can learn about various tasks and software programs and other things they want to learn. The library pays for you to have access to this for free, as much as you want to learn, as many videos as you want to watch, as many certificates as you want to earn. You can do that. Again, you're logging in with your library card number and your library card PIN. And then there's just so many videos. So the thing that I really like about lynda.com is not just the video learning, it's that the videos have transcripts. So if we go with a video that I've previously been watching, this is my list from my account. If you look, here's the video. This is about art. You can, when the library reopens, use the Octavia Lab to 3D print things. Right now, we're so proud of them. They are working on 3D printing face mask visors for health the public. But when we reopen, this is a really great resource that you can then take into the library and put into practice. But this video offers a transcript, and the transcript is searchable. So if you have a particular question you want to answer, you can go to a video and search the transcript, which I really appreciate. Another great thing about lynda.com is that when you finish a class on lynda.com, you can get a certificate. and you can actually share that certificate to your LinkedIn account. For those of you who don't know, LinkedIn is a social media job networking site. So you can put your resume on LinkedIn. You can connect with people you worked with before. You can provide recommendations. Employers can log into your LinkedIn and review. And if you've been taking classes on lynda.com, you can post those certificates to LinkedIn, and potential employers can see what you've been learning while you've been at home. So that's a really great thing about lynda.com. And I really encourage you just to explore. There's so much here. If you wanted to, say, learn about Microsoft Excel, I mean, I just love a good spreadsheet. So Microsoft Excel, you can take classes in that. There's videos here in the search. You can look at individual videos or take the classes for the certificate. There are tests and there's interactive activities, all of that available here. You can view your account here. So any certificates, lynda.com. You can bookmark classes. You can view your history of classes. This is my history here. So these are various classes that I've taken. And I can rewatch these videos at any time. So that's about it. I wanted to make this really quick for lynda.com. I just want to put it out there with tutor.com as two really amazing, money-saving, super valuable resources that are available to you for free through the library online.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Amanda. And yeah, I think you mentioned it, but I just wanted to be clear. Also, lynda.com is sort of also known as LinkedIn Learning now. So if anyone was confused, that's the same thing. Lynda.com was the original company. So, but yeah, it's the same offering. Let's see, bring this up. we went into a crazy infinite screen share loop there for a second. Yeah, so this looks more normal. So yeah, thanks, Amanda. And then I know Lear also had some stuff that she wanted to share. Lear, do you want to get into that now? I can bring up your screen.
Usually looks like, again, lapl.org. In the top right, in the light blue, you'll see eMedia. So you can click on that. So these are all apps that you download for free, and you can get them wherever you get apps. So you can go Play Store, App Store, wherever you like. For all, if not most of these, you're going to need an email address and a password of your choice, as well as your library card and your PIN, again, the last four of the phone number when you started your card. So today, as you can see, there's many of them. We have language learning, Lynda's right here, music and podcasts. But we're going to look at three today. We're going to look at Canopy, Hoopla, and Overdrive. So here we go. And I'm just going to do a general overview, and then please, take the time to kind of look through. They all have very different and awesome items. So Canopy is a streaming site only, no downloading, so you will need an internet connection. You get, up here on the right, you get 9 credits a month. So this may not seem a lot. So 1 credit is 1 movie. It may not seem like a lot, but when you pair it with the film and TV offerings that Hoopla and Overdrive has, it fills the gap better. But because we are all at home, Canopy has added a credit-free viewing. That's the first thing you'll see up here. The children's section is also credit-free, and you can set parental control. So that's over here in Canopy Kids. And then you can always browse the different sections. So they add new items often, constantly. They also have very specific curated collections. Also wanted to let you know that if it's rated R, it does make you check a box that you're over 18. Let's see. And then they're known for their independent films, their documentaries, Criterion Collection. So basically you can either browse or you can just hover over something. Let's see, Tomorrow Man with John Lithgow, shall we look at? So then you'll just kind of click on it. And I apologize, my computer is a wee bit slow. And then you can either add to your list to like look at later, or you can just start watching. And then, so it'll give you a little description of it. It'll tell you people also watch other things. And then it'll give you comments just like a Netflix account does. And then you can just start watching it and full screen it. I think I clicked on something different, but Rashomon is also awesome. So let's say you want something specific. You can just go to your top area here and look. I had checked out a Henry Rollins film, wonderful musician, pro libraries. He loves to catalog items. He has his own podcast, but he was also in a movie. So it pops up first. Sometimes it doesn't pop up first. I also ran the search with, say, Nicolas Cage, and we had to scroll down a little to find him. But you can always check, doesn't hurt to check. And then you can also double check with the People tab over here. So right there, the film He Never Died. You can go ahead and watch it. It'll take a credit. And there you go. So that was Canopy. So I'm going to just close this out. Okay, we're going to go to Overdrive next. So we have Overdrive and we have Libby. So it's just the two different apps. Libby might be a little user-friendly depending on what platform you use. For my computer purposes, Overdrive works. I also enjoy Overdrive, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So again, you're going to need your library card, PIN, email, and password. Email and password is because when you put a book on hold, it'll email you when it's ready. So with Overdrive, you can have magazines, ebooks, and audiobooks for 21 days. Videos are 7 days. No. And sorry, I lost my place. And then you can have up to 30 loans or checkouts and up to 15 books on hold at a time. So we at LAPL also offer the Available Now. So if you just want something to read at this moment in time, please take a look at the Available Now. They're ready for checkout. Also the magazines ready for checkout. And then at the top here, you can set your preference of language for how the Overdrive looks. So if you want to read everything in Spanish, etc., you can. Over here, you have My Account. You have your loans, your holds. You can have wish lists. And if you like, it'll keep track of your history, which is it's nice because then you remember what you've checked out. When you get a hold, you have to check it out within, I believe, 2 or 3 days. If not, it jumps to the next person in line while keeping you in line. And then let's say, so also there's specific areas. And also if you read on a Kindle and you only want to see what we have as Kindle books, please click here. There are many collections. We have quite a lot of language books. So if you want to read books in Spanish, the screening room are the films. And then we also have curated collections. So because we work in Teenscape, we have worked on curating collections for Overdrive. It's been very fun. It's loading. As it's loading, I do want to say that, of course, we have databases such as Novelist where you can look for book recommendations. But as Amanda said, there is a YA librarian in every branch, and there are YA librarians at Teenscape. So you can always reach out to one of us to get a specific curated list. We can recommend you books, graphic novels, nonfiction, fiction, all sorts. So here are our curated collections. So you have your See Yourself in Books, Real Deal, Past is Present. etc. So let's say you find something you want to check out. I did want to read the Mafi book, so you can look at a very large expanse of sea. She also writes excellent middle grade books, if anyone is interested. So 3 of 11 copies are available. So often we have many copies. If you see that it's not available, please put a hold on it, because after a certain number, the library will purchase more copies. So you can read a sample. So I'm just going to go ahead and borrow it. And then it says 21 days, 14, or 7. So I always like to do 21 days because I'm on Overdrive every day. And if I finish early, I can return it early. If you're someone who doesn't want to be bothered with that, but you'll get to it in 7 days, you can click 7 days so you know it'll be freed up for someone else. And then I don't read items with Kindle. You can read it in a browser, but I like to download the ebook. So then usually I'm reading on an iPad, it'll download it for me. And then up here with the little books, and then we'll get to Hoopla. I'm gonna try to refresh my computer. I think, okay, it's frozen. Okay, it's back.
I think we're all struggling a little bit. The internet's under a lot of load today.
Yeah, I was like, oh dear. If you can see on the loans page, I can still borrow 21 more titles, and then you can see what we have borrowed. So it also gives you how many days expiring. So like the one I just checked out, 21. I checked this out earlier today, 21 days. And then I was pretty excited because I requested that the adult fiction department purchase this book, and they did. So I have 20 days to read it. And then I have some YA down here in 12 days. So it's like gives myself due dates to kind of try to get through these books. And then you can also look at your hold list to see when these books might be coming. Looks like I got some borrowing to do. So the Babysitter's graphic novels are great, and The Little Sister came out. So although I put it on hold April 4th, I'm still waiting for it, but I know it'll get there. So I'm excited. So that is Overdrive. If you have any questions or comments, just please email the library. So I'm going to click off of that. So Hoopla, same thing. You're going to download, have with your library card. So Hoopla is wonderful if you like audiobooks, graphic novels, movies, TV, and music. So once you get your account, your first screen, it'll ask you to make an account with an email and a password. Then you're going to find your library. Same thing with Overdrive. I forgot to mention Los Angeles Public Library. Another addition to Overdrive that's awesome is, let's say you have it on your phone, you can add all your library cards. I have about 7. So you can just jump around from library to library to see what you can check out. So you'll find your settings in the top right here. You can set your preferences, such as receiving emails. If you like Hoopla to keep track of your borrowing history, which I find helpful because then you can just click on it again if you're not done with it. And there's also a kids mode for parents. You have 15 checkouts a month, movies and TV series. Each individual TV episode is 3 days. Audiobooks, ebooks, and graphic novels are 21 days. Music is 7 days for the album, which is a great way to listen to it before wanting to buy it, perhaps. And these, so Overdrive and Hoopla, you can download. So on the main page, let's see if I close some tabs. Okay, so I have currently borrowed 10, or I have these currently borrowed. I can do 10 more. So I read a lot of middle grade. We're reading a Christie book for our teen book club. And then I have some teen books down here. And because sometimes what I do is if I checked it out on Overdrive, which I have this checked out on Overdrive, but I also have it checked out on Hoopla, I'm going to return the Overdrive book, give that to someone else. Because what's amazing about Hoopla is that multiple users can borrow at the same time. Overdrive is one item, one user. We just have multiple copies of a lot of things. But Hoopla, there's quite a number of users until it makes you put a hold. I think I've only reached that once. So then, if it'll let me, same, definitely just look around. You can browse television, ebooks, comics. So there's really nice graphic novels on this. Let's see. There's not time, but when you check something out, you can read the book. Let's say you're reading it on an iPad or a phone. You can set it so that each panel pops up. And that way it's not super tiny, like it'll pop you from panel to panel. And there's also a magnifying glass that you can look more directly at it. And it's very nice. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Please let us know if you have questions. I don't want to take up more time, and I will stop sharing. Thank you.
Thanks, Lear. Thanks so much. I wanted to point out there's a kind of a hack with Canopy is that you can, of course, also put in any other library cards into your account that you might have. So if you also have a library card with like the LA County Library, which is a different library system, you can get twice as many plays in a month. FYI, I'm actually not sure if any other local systems offer Canopy, but that's definitely quite a few extra movies to watch. Oh yeah. So a lot of these, and a lot of systems I know are offering things similar to our e-card. I'm not totally familiar on the details, but I think that kind of covers it. I wanted to just double check if there are any questions. We kind of had a question about tutor.com and tutoring, and we just wanted to like re-emphasize that all of these services that the library offers are free with your library card. There's no charge for any of this. I think what you had brought up, Amanda, was the cost if you had to pay for it. Did you? Yeah, good point. Awesome. So I think we've kind of covered all of the questions that I saw in the chat. If anyone else has anything else that they're curious about, just hit us up in the chat. Oh, we heard that maybe Amanda. Oh, we didn't get Amanda's audio. Well, I'm not sure why that would be. What Amanda was just saying, though, was emphasizing that, of course, all the services are free to you, the library card user, the patron, but we do, as a library system, pay for them so that you do have access for them. And so that's the important thing to remember is that, we're paying for these things so that you have free access to them with your library card. Hopefully, folks were able to hear most of what you were saying. I'm not sure why we're cutting out now, but I think that kind of covers it for this episode of Ask a Librarian Live. So I think maybe it's time to sign off. We've had enough technical difficulties for one day, so we could use a break. I just wanted to really quickly share a couple things and just make sure that we point out on our website, lapl.org, this is your hub for everything that's available through the library. And we have redone our homepage so that it emphasizes our online resources. But if this is unfamiliar to you and you're just looking for something that you're used to getting to from the old classic website, you just click on this full website link here, and that takes you to kind of our old normal website. And then if you go back to the Library at Home site, I just want to point out a few things. This first box here, e-card registration, if you do not have a library card and you were trying to get to some of these digital resources, definitely click on that and you can fill out a form to get an e-card. Anyone in Los Angeles can get that. Don't do it if you already have a library card. If you already have a library card, I would email infonow at lapl.org. That's infonow at lapl.org. And they will help you get your card activated if you're having problems. But if you don't have a card, sign up for an e-card. And then over here under the kids section, if you go to this link right here, if you are an LAUSD student, you have a student success card. And if you don't have the card, the physical card, it's still in the system. So you click on this link that says verify student card. This is what Amanda was talking about earlier. And there's a form to fill out here to get access to your library card number and your PIN. So any LAUSD student that doesn't have your student success card number, do that, and that'll get you access to all these digital resources. We've got a lot of other things on here. All the links to the stuff we were talking about, the ebooks, streaming movies, all that stuff is available here. And so with that, I'll just sign off. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry about all the technical difficulties earlier, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend and stay safe, everybody.